Okay, I think we're back. Yep. Right. Okay. So today, I'm not going to training today. At least not this afternoon one. Only because I'm recording this just before then. If you couldn't tell. Only because I've now. Let me pause this. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Only because I've got another blister underneath my big blister that I dealt with the other day. I've got another one that's come up just underneath that one, and I don't know if I don't think it was because it wasn't fully healed yet, and I started training and then opened up another. I think it's really just the fact that my feet can't help it for one reason or another. My skin keeps, because I don't know what blisters are. I always thought blisters were where obviously you've got the blisters where you just rub a lot and it rubs and it rubs and it rubs and then it forms a blister. But I always thought blisters were like this, but where the skin has kind of been like almost pulled from where it's supposed to be. So let's say like you're looking at it like on the palm of your, well, I can't, yeah, it's to my shoulder. So let's say you're looking at it like a piece of skin here. It's just been done like this, or like this, or like this, or just so much that it's kind of come away from whatever it's attached to underneath, if you know what I mean. And then that kind of liquid forms in the middle of it, and then it slowly goes down, and then heals itself. That's what I always thought it was. My basis might be a bit wrong on that. But the reason I've always had that feeling is because it always, like blisters, especially ones on the bottom of my feet, I found, always feels like ones where it's kind of like they can shift forwards and shift back, like the blister itself can. And I feel like it's because it's kind of like torn or stretched the skin to a point where it's kind of like loose and it's like pulled away from whatever it's attached to. I could be so wrong on that, and it could be absolutely nothing like that at all. But that's just a feeling I get when I get a blister, or the issues I'm having at the moment with my feet. So from now on, I'm just going to have to tape them up every time I go. I'm just going to have to wrap them in tape. If I've got an existing blister, put a tissue on it for a bit of a padding, then tape it around that, which is what I've got on my right foot at the moment. But because I can't, well, not that I can't go to training, it's just that I want to, because tomorrow's Sunday, so tomorrow's my day off anyway. So I want to just give it this extra day break, just so I can kind of get the blister that's there at the moment under control and get the swelling down on that. And then I can start taping up, and hopefully I don't have any more issues from there. Because the training in bare feet, the amount of twisting you do in the front of you, and is it the ball of your foot? Because I know you've got the heel and then the ball, but when I say ball, I think more of a heel. Because I mean, it's more of a ball shape, isn't it? But no, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it is. But like when you're on like your toes and stuff in Muay Thai, there's a lot of kind of like doing like that and twisting on it, and like because when you go for a kick with your right foot and you're bringing your right foot round, you're kind of you're going round with this leg, but you're not just keeping this foot in position. Before you throw the kick, you go forwards and open slightly at an angle, and then you bring it round. But in Muay Thai especially, they don't just do that. You stay on your toe, so you've got your heel in the air, and then as you kick, your leg twists with it, and then twists back on the down. So on the up, if I can get my balance and do this slowly, it goes up, so your leg's coming round, and then it goes down as you come back. So up, and because of all of that kind of like twist, just underneath where your toes are, just on that like flat part, it gets shredded up, or at least my feet get shredded up. So because of that, I'm having a few issues in my feet, and it's annoying. To be honest, it's not bad. I'm not in any pain. It's not causing me to not be able to do things. Obviously, when it's like very bad or very fresh, it can be a bit of an annoyance to walk around on, because it's always on the bottom of my feet, and especially the ones I had at the moment have been right at the bottom, right in the middle. So it's kind of like impossible to like put your foot in a position to avoid anyway. So that's an annoyance, but I mean, nothing that's the end of the world. I get an extra, I say day off, I'm going to explain what I'm going to do today anyway, but I get a day off from super intense training, I suppose, which is always a good, always a thing. You're never going to go, oh no, fuck. Like, there's always going to be a little part of you that's happy about it, even if you're annoyed that you've not gone and done it. But that's okay, because what I am going to do today is I'm going to do some of the warm-ups and the exercises and stuff that I've shown previously on the channel, and then also I'm going to do some more just personalised stuff, just for stuff that I've noticed I'm needing a bit of not necessarily help, but just the areas that need a little bit more work than the rest. I.e. for me, my core, I've still got quite a bit of belly on me. My core's never been that strong. Planks I've always been terrible at. I always attribute that to having like quite a heavy, a lot of my fat is stored in my upper body, so it's quite heavy, my shoulders and my chest and my stomach, and not really my back as much, but then again maybe it is and I just can't see that my back is that heavy. I have quite thick skin on my back. Like when you like kind of pinch, you can kind of feel like if you pinch an arm, it's quite thin, like the skin you're holding is like, it's like that thick. But then if I go to my back, I've got like a good hefty chunk of skin when I grab there. Same with chest, same with stomach. I've got like a good chunk I can grab onto. So that's what I've been taught, not really taught, but from my experience, I believe that's like the fat under the skin. So that's how you can tell where your fat is stored. Obviously you can see my shoulders are a bit more pronounced than like my, let's say, abs are, and you can feel around here. The skin, it just doesn't have anywhere near as much fat underneath it. As you get down to the chest, it starts to get a little bit thicker and a little bit thicker, and on the shoulders a little bit less again. Same with the arms, and it's just how you can kind of tell, not necessarily what needs work, because fat falls off you as a whole, just quite equally, to be honest. It's just where you hold your fat. So for me, it's chest, back, stomach, legs. Legs have never really. My legs have always been in quite good shape. I have to admit, I am going to probably at one point in my life steal my dad's old quote of, because my dad has got very, for some reason, very weirdly muscular, calves especially, but legs as in a whole. Like, not very much fat on them compared to the rest of his body, no offence, Dad. But he always used to say it's because he's been carrying around all this weight up top for so many years. And honestly, I actually kind of get that now, because I've always been heavy up top, but my legs have never been particularly fatty. I mean, obviously your thighs are always going to hold a fair bit, but I mean, never so much where it's like you've got like obese legs. Like I've got quite muscular legs, but I mean, even though there's muscle on there, they're not very big, like at all. Like that, I've got quite. If you looked at my legs, like and just chop me off at the waist. Looked at my waist and my below the waist and above the waist. Obviously, legs and calves we're talking about here, people. It's quite skinny, you know. Not loads of fat, nothing like that. And you think it was quite an athletic body, and then you take the top half and you go, they don't really match them. They're a little bit odd. They're a little bit mismatched. And it's, again, as I said, just depends on where you hold your fat. Yeah, so that's about that. I don't know how I even got into that conversation. No idea. But yeah, anyway, so I'm going to do some stuff here. Going to do a little bit of, because I was talking about focusing on certain areas. Areas I think I need to focus on. My ankle strength and mobility, because I've noticed there's a lot of kind of like, as you can see, I'm bouncing here. A lot of like bouncing on your calves. So your heels coming up a lot. Like you're going like this, you're lifting that leg up a bit, you're kind of bouncing backwards and forwards a bit whilst on your tiptoes. So your calves are almost always activated. And I was saying to my mum the other day that they feel extremely tight for me, because she was saying how obviously at her age now, she wants like, obviously she wants to feel like tighter skin, she wants to look better. But for me, I was saying I was having a problem with it, because I've noticed that my, like just above my ankle, like my very bottom of my calf, has felt extremely tight recently. And I've noticed it's because it's developed so much whilst I've been out here. I've only been out here for about 2 months so far, but I've noticed a sizable difference in like the width of my ankle and calf itself. Because I've always had very weak joints, at least certain ones. Like my wrists are very small. My ankles have never been strong. I always used to have issues when I was younger of walking, and my ankles would just roll, like how you like twist an ankle, sprain an ankle. But I'd just be walking on the street normally, and then all of a sudden twist, and one leg would go, and it was always such a pain. because it always annoyed me a lot. And in the end, I think it came down to the fact that I had scoliosis in my back. Not very badly at all, but just enough that it had like displaced my hip. Oh, no, it was the other way around. My leg was like, I think either half an inch or a quarter of an inch shorter than my right. Therefore, my hips were slightly off, which then caused my spine to be a little bit bent. Nothing that's like detrimental or anything like that, but just so much so that it was causing me issues whilst walking. So I wore a thingy for a long time, a little like platform in my left shoe that added about quarter, or I said half an inch, just so it kind of balanced out my hips a bit. But I've not worn it in a long time, to be fair. I only ever wore it on and off. But I've now whilst being up here, I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't so much that my leg was shorter or that my hips were like off placed or my spine was at the wrong angle. I think it's more just that my joints themselves were so weak. Whether that's through a birth thing or what, I know my gran had arthritis. Whether it's something connected to that, God knows. But what I do know now is that they feel a lot stronger than they used to. And I mean, that's a really good thing. And I think whether I was just born like not as strong in those areas, it's not that it's impossible to fix them. You've just got to work on them more than you do other areas, which is really cool, really good. There's a new chair outside my room, and I don't know why, so give me 1 second. But yeah, no, so that's about it with everything. All good, yeah.